Welcome back on the Giants Broadcast Network. Our scoreboard having a malfunction. The score is still 10-3. And joining us in the booth here, Trey Martinez. Trey, you were a coach for the Giants for a little while, and A.J. Martin steps up to lead off this inning. I want you to tell us about your time with the Giants.
You know, my Giants career, it was a long career. I played here, coached here. It was about 7 years of my life, so
Wow.
The Giants organization holds a big place in my heart for sure.
First pitch to Martin, misses just high.
So what was your first year with the Giants? As a player, I'm assuming, right?
It was a player in 2015 when I graduated high school.
Did you go to high school around here?
I went to Gaithersburg High School.
There we go.
Gaithersburg through and through.
So was that with Coach Raberman, I'm assuming?
was.
All right. See,
Played for Coach Raberman, and I coached with Rabs for a year or two.
You know, Raberman, a big part of kind of what made this Gaithersburg Giants culture. You know, talk about what he kind of did, right, for this team, you know, throughout a lot of years of service to them.
Yeah, so
2-0, Martin popped this straight up. Catcher Sammy Lease can't make it. It was a tough play for him.
Yeah, so Rabs, you know, he built this program from the ground up, started in the MCBL, and then went to the Ripken League a little before my time. And then, you know, when I got there, we were always pretty competitive every year. There was a couple down years here and there, but, you know, he always was able to develop guys and send them to the school better than he got them as. You know, examples such as Jordan Westberg and, you know, others along the line. But he was always able to develop guys and send them better than he got them.
2-1 now to A.J. Martin. Now make that 3-1.
Yes. So when you played, what position? Where were you on the field?
I was a catcher.
Catcher. All right.
You know? Come on, baby. I don't really walk the same anymore, but you know, that's kind of why I went to college, being a decent catcher.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Towson University.
Towson.
I went to Towson, and I coached here for 2 years, and then now I'm coaching at McDaniel College, where the Cropdusters first baseman's at.
Oh, okay. Ben Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about him as a player. I'm sure you get to interact with him a little bit.
He's a good kid. He's pretty hard on himself. You know, when he squares it up, he squares it up. He'll hit it a mile, but you know, he's struggling in the Ripken League right now, facing some better pitching than he sees in Division III. Rightfully so. You know, I kind of told him going into the year that he was going to struggle and he's going to have to figure out a way to deal with that. And you know, from the looks of today, he's squaring the ball, sending it right at people. But you know, he's dealing with that adversity.
It was a leadoff walk for A.J. Martin, and that'll bring up Jacob Bunch, who took over first base for Will Burgess. And Trey, I want to go into kind of your role as a player a little bit more. In this Cal Ripken League, it's kind of difficult when a player comes into a brand new setting with completely different coaches. So just, you know, talk about the mental switch you have to have in between the two environments at school and during summer ball.
I think the biggest thing is you just have to enjoy summer ball. Like, you know, it's whether you like it or not, it's not really, you know, it's not for a purpose, it's just for your development. So if you go out there every day, even if you're not succeeding, not enjoying what you're doing, like, you're not going to get the most out of it. If if you go out there and you're meeting a bunch of new people, playing with unfamiliar people, and you go out there and enjoy what you're doing every single day, trying to get better, like, you're going to get the most out of it you can. And, you know, summer ball, it's a whole different world than, you know, college baseball. You know, you get to meet different guys from around the country, and they all come together at one random place in the world. You know, that just happened to be my hometown, but you know, for some people who come from California and Texas and all over the country, they're all coming to Gaithersburg, Maryland, and you know, trying to have the best time of their life and develop as a player.
3-0 count now to Jacob Bunch. That pitch finds the bottom part of the zone.
Yeah, and then so you went from a player to a coach. What were some of the things that kind of changed from, making that switch over?
I think the biggest thing for me was just becoming more mature as a person. You know, like as a player, you like to, you know, talk a little smack to other players and, you know, chirp a little bit here and there. But, you know, the way I coach is I try to teach people from my mistakes in college, you know, constantly working hard. And, you know, that's something that I regret in college and wish I did a little more. but working hard every day and you're working on their craft and just not taking the little things lightly. But the transition to a coach, it was cool for me just being able to see the other side of things, how coaches think in the middle of a game or at the end of the game, like post-game talks. Like coaches will meet before they do a post-game talk with the team, and they'll talk about how they're going to address the team. Like, are they going to be mad at them? Are they going to be really behind them? Stuff like that. So it was cool to see that. I learned a lot from Coach Radman and my coaches at Towson and where I'm at now. So it's a really cool experience for me.
And I think one of the cool things about getting to coach after your playing days is staying in that kind of dugout clubhouse experience, getting to stay connected with the game. So tell me about how that was, getting to make connections with the new Giants players, stay connected with the coaches that are on the staff, just kind of that whole, just the connections part of baseball, how that has been as a coach.
That whole first week of Giants season, you're just trying to learn everyone's name. Honestly, there's a bunch of it's 30 plus guys that come into one place and you don't know anyone's name. You don't know where they're from, you don't know their background, so you're just trying to learn as much as you can about them in a short amount of time, so you can support them as a teammate and get to know them better as a person and enjoy their time together through the summer. From connections wise, I still talk to former players of mine and people I played with in the summer on a probably every week, honestly. I'm texting them. We're talking. With the transfer portal now, guys that I coached in the Giants, some of them have hit the portal, and I've talked to them and see where they're at if they want to spend some time with me for the next couple of years at McDaniel. But it's it's cool just meeting a bunch of new people, and you're all there for the same purpose, to develop and get better, and that's the goal. So being able to do that is a cool experience as a coach.
And just the difference in the years for you, what has changed with the transfer portal mainly? You've had basically, first-hand experience with that the entire time it's evolved. A.J. Martin caught in a pickle, and he's thrown out at third. He left a little early. After back-to-back walks, it's now the first recorded out, and a caught stealing A.J. Martin.
Repeat your question. What was it?
You've had a lot of first-hand experience with the transfer portal, so, how has it evolved for you now, once being a player, now a coach, and do you think it's a good change?
I think the transfer portal, I don't think it's a bad thing. There's just ups and downs to it. The transfer portal is a lot of, players believing in themselves that they can go somewhere better or go somewhere new, that they want to get a new opportunity or see new places. I think that was the whole point of it. It's got to the point where they spend a year at somewhere and they want to just try to keep moving up as much as they can. But for us, in Division III, it's we look at it every day. It's constantly looking at it, seeing if we can get some people that are going to better our program. But for us, we're big on development. Getting high school guys in and developing them. Making them better baseball players and better young men for the future. Transfer as a whole, it's got its ups and downs, but I don't think it's a bad thing by any means.
And I'm also interested. You talked about it a little bit, but I think when we talk about this conversation, a lot of us are thinking of big Power 5 D1 schools, stuff like that. So how is the transfer portal, stuff like that, different for a D3 school like McDaniel, where you are?
So there's a bunch of Division III guys that we played this year that have transferred out to Division I schools, and some that were already committed during the season. Some guys that were committed already in the season. So it's if you tear it up in D3, someone might see that, and in D3 is a lot of grad years. So some D3s might not have a graduate program, so they're going to go to Division I for their graduate year. And it goes kind of the same way with the Ivy League. The Ivy League, you only spend 4 years in the Ivy League, and they might go to a school in our conference because the academics are around the same as the Ivy League. So it goes both ways. It's not just Division III up. It'll go Division I down as well.
Mm-hmm.
2-2 to Matthew Best. Still Ben Christine on the mound. Pitch inside. Count will go full.
Another thing I'm curious about, kind of back to the difference, player, coach. Is there a difference between players back when you played and the players now, or is it the same kind of thing? I'm very curious.
I think players now are a little smarter, if I'm going to be honest. Like, there's so many tools for players to use now, such as the TrackMan, as you guys have, and video. Like, there's so much more video now than when I was playing back in the day. That wasn't, too long ago. It's only been 5 years, something like that. The technology has gotten so much better where you're able to really analyze your swing or analyze the pitcher's pitches and what's his vertical break, what's his horizontal break, what's his spin rate, and things like that. So I think players now are just a little smarter and they know how to use those tools correctly. Before it was all new. It was all new, so you're kind of looking at the spin rate, what does it really mean, and how does it affect a pitcher and a hitter. But the biggest thing is just guys being a little smarter and knowing how to use it now.
0-1 to Casey Gibbs. That one low. Count will go 1-1. And how does, all the different stats and analysis that you can do now, how does that impact your coaching?
I think for a recruiting purpose, it's a big eye-opener for us. Someone emails me and they're put on their email, they throw 90 miles an hour, I'll probably take a look at their video.
Casey Gibbs grounds to Swenda for the final out of the inning. And Trey, it's been a great long top of the half of the inning, and maybe you'll join us in the bottom half, or not, it's up to you.
If you want me to.
But we'll step away. The score is still 10-3 on the Giants. Broadcast. Welcome back on the Giants Broadcast Network. Noah Tabay on the mound for the Giants, making his 6th appearance of the year. Still in the booth with us is Trey Martinez, and we're delighted to have you, Trey.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And so, for Noah Tabay, who's kind of had a rough go of it the past couple outings, as a catcher, how would you call his game?
Noah, who I've known previously from playing on the Giants. I'm constantly calling him in the zone. Let's set up middle of the plate and let your pitches work. He's got a good sinker. He throws it pretty hard. Upper 8s to low 9s. So let's call the sinker in the middle of the zone and let it run into a righty's hands or run away from a lefty's barrel.
This one put on the ground, foul.
Like you just saw there, he's going to get a lot of ground balls. He get a lot of pop-ups because it's uncomfortable at bat for a hitter. And pairing that with a pretty good slider and changeup, he's pretty good if he's in the zone.
As a catcher, what is your favorite pitch to, if there's a pitcher, right? What's something that if you see in the arsenal, you're like, yes, that is awesome. What gets you most excited?
I think I'll wipe out slider because you're just going to get a lot of swords,
Yeah, of course.
If we can get a lot of swords, I think it's a good inning, a successful inning. So a really good slider that you can throw away from a righty that's going to come out of the same tunnel as a fastball, or into a lefty that's really going to sword them. I think that's probably one of my favorite pitches to call.
Ethan McNally able to squeeze that third strike on Kevin McMeans for the first out of the inning. Now will bring up Josh Reinhold, who takes for ball 1. Reinhold 0 for 2. 1-0, swing and miss.
Now, Trey, you played for the Giants, you coached for the Giants. What's your favorite moment, playing or coaching? I know it's a lot of years, so is there one that stands out in particular?
I guess I'd have to think back.
I know, it's a tough one.
I guess my second year with the Giants, I made the All-Star game here, which
that's
was a
awesome.
cool experience for me.
Where'd they play that year? Was it Povich?
Big Train, yeah.
Big Train, okay.
I was at Big Train. We faced, I think the starter for Big Train was Logan Gilbert.
Oh, there you go.
So,
I'm a Mariners fan.
There's a name that makes David smile.
yeah, he was throwing pretty hard. If you're a Mariners fan, I faced Nathan Kirby in college too.
Okay.
You can look back at that box score. The 2019 Tigers really took him to town, but yeah, he didn't have the best outing against us. But yeah, the All-Star game was a cool experience. A bunch of pro scouts there, and you're playing with the best guys. Honestly, some of the best guys around the country. So that was really cool for me. I mean, another thing, I went to Cuba with the Ripken League, actually.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Went to Cuba on a goodwill mission trip with the Ripken League. That was a cool experience. We were playing some Cuban professional teams down there, and doing some good for their baseball community, donating some equipment every now and then. Being able to see a place like that not a lot of people are going to get to see was really, really cool.
So what year was that? What year did you guys go down to Cuba?
Hartford Community College. Eddie
2017 or 2018.
Okay. And
That was cool.
getting to kind of be in the baseball community down there, what were some of your takeaways from kind of being around it in a different country?
They like to play a lot of music during the game.
That's awesome.
They're banging on the drums and they got the maracas going. Like it was crazy time. Like these stadiums are kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and you pull up and the stadium's packed and it's all like concrete seating, not like the seats that they got here at the Cropdusters place. It's just concrete seating. These guys are they're banging on their drums in between pitches, and there's not really a break in it. It's just constant noise, and they speak a different language, so it's hard to communicate with them during the game. But they can just tell like they're out there just having fun. Like that was their biggest thing. They're professional teams, but they're out there having fun.
Ahi Akoje fouls that one off. Count goes to 2-1. Back-to-back strikeouts for Noah Tebey. Two one, taken just high. Count goes 3-1.
I think somebody else already got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
3-1, misses just low. It's a 2-out walk for the Cropdusters.
Batting next, the designated hitter, number 4 from Shippensburg University, Carter Hines.
So you recently ended up at McDaniel. What exactly brought you there? Was there like a connection? Someone you knew over there?
So in 2022, while I was coaching for the Giants, I had to resign from Towson because of rules coaching kids in the portal. So while I was resigned, McDaniel got a new head coach, and he saw a Towson coach at a prospect camp and was looking for a catching hitting guy.
That one bounces in off the mask of McNally, and Akoje takes second base.
He was looking for a catching hitting guy, and I kind of put my name in the pool and ended up getting an interview there and got the job. So I was going from a volunteer position at Towson to a paid position at McDaniel, which was really nice for me, just making some money. And, trying to further my career along, I figured, I know baseball, so I might as well stick with baseball.
And getting to coach catching, which is what you did, what are some things that people don't really realize about, what it takes to be a catcher? Because I think that's, out of all the positions on the field, that's the one that comes with the most nuance. There's just so much that goes into it, blocking, calling the game, having to see the whole field, right? So what are some things that you work with guys on, that you work on yourself as a player, that people just kind of take for granted?
This one hit in the air right at A.J. Martin. Trey, we'll let you finish up before we step away.
Yeah, so I think, for catching, I think the biggest thing for catchers is they just got to be locked in every single pitch. Like, you can't take a pitch off as opposed to maybe an outfielder where, they're standing around for 4 or 5 batters not getting a ball hit at them. Catchers are catching pitches every single time. We're constantly working on the little things, catching, receiving, blocking, all that good stuff. But, I'm constantly making sure that they're locked in every single pitch because, if they aren't, one pitch could go to the backstop and lead to a run that could lose us the game.
Well, it was lovely to have you on the broadcast, Trey. We thank you so much for that full inning of insight. The score is still 10-3, and we'll step away here on the Giants Broadcast Network.